Have you heard of a man named John Hume?
I don't think so.
Okay, so he's a South African guy who is a prolific conservationist in
Okay.
South Africa. He has a white rhino breeding facility
Kyle, let's take a look at this guy.
where
I know a lot of those guys.
he's
Let me see
bred
who
over
he is.
2,000 rhinos over the last decade.
Okay.
Um, so he's pretty well known. He's a big deal in South Africa, especially in the conservation scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, South Africa's organized crime investigation unit
I did see this.
has just busted Mr. Hume along with 5 of his associates because they were actually, while posing as these conservationists, also trafficking rhino horn illegally.
I saw that. $14 million, I believe.
Yep, 167 horns came from his facility.
Unbelievable.
Yep, $14 million.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was worse than that. Not only was he, if my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I skimmed this in one of my late night erratic rants, is he was a rhino conservationist who was trying to, and I actually think that this idea is good. I think we've talked about it before, flood the market by breeding rhinos for horn so that there was so much horn out there that the value dropped. But apparently, if I'm not mistaken, he couldn't keep up demand or whatever. So he was smuggling illegally poached horns mixed in with his farmed horn. Is that correct?
To some extent, yes. He was basically trying to create like a legal horn trade.
Yeah.
He thought that if they made the trade legal, that would bring the price down, make it less of a poaching issue.
Right.
But he also was profiting $14 million along the way. So it doesn't fully sound completely altruistic.
And I don't think,
in my mind,
to most people, they understand what $14 million in South Africa is. Like,
what is it the equivalent of in, let's say, California?
Well, put it this way. The most expensive house, I believe, in South Africa, which is the house that they made Iron Man in the Marvel movies, that's a real house in Cape Town, is something like $12 million. And that's in the country of South Africa.
Okay.
$14 million, like $14 million in South Africa, that would probably be the equivalent of 500 million here. I mean, we could do the exact math and convert it to South African rand, but the value, like the cheapness and everything else in South Africa, that's like, we're talking about like $1 billion enterprise comparatively. Like it's a big, so it's not like he didn't know what he was doing.
Well, also he had been like one of the other people that are being indicted was his cousin's brother, which I think would make you the cousin, but it says it's his cousin's half brother who got busted in 2019 for like a big rhino horn transportation thing. So like he was involved with all these guys.
Yeah, it's real shady.
And most of them being transported, I think it says to
you know what's
South
sad
Korea.
about this to me? And I don't want to give John Hume any like wiggle room or credit or anything. He's a despicable human being, in my opinion, if this is all true, which I'm sure it is. But I bet you it didn't start this way. Do you know what I mean? I
agree. I was just thinking that.
I bet you it started with him having the most noble of intentions and thinking, I'm going to breed these rhinos, or we're going to make it legal, and we're going to traffic in horn, we're going to flood the market. And then something happened where somebody came up and offered him something he just basically couldn't refuse, whether it's just greed or ailment or something. And he's like, you know what? That's enough money. And I bet in his own mind, sadly, he was like, okay, well, if I take, let's say it was 6 million at the time. If I take 6 million, I could put, 5.5 of that into my cause. Like I can do all that. And then that'll justify doing it this one time or these 2 times, or you know what I mean? And then it sort of just evolved into this thing. Like
money,
corrupts, there's got to be a, I bet you at his core, he's not like an evil human being. He had all these great intentions. I don't know anything about the guy. This is total speculation, but I bet you at his core, he was like, I'm going to save rhinos. I can do this. I know how to do it. I believe in myself. And then he had one misstep, and then you're in with the mafia and everything else. Like you're fucked. But
yeah, it was 960 horns that all were sold to Southeast Asia. He says he has nothing to hide and that he denies it, but they're facing. Oh, he was born in Zimbabwe and raised on a sheep farm.
But here's the other thing about this. He might actually. That might, if he really does have nothing to hide, he really might be getting framed by all this. Because if you
Right.
think, and this is African politics, and I know somebody might get offended by this, but it's the truth. There is a realistic, highly possible chance that somebody in the government somewhere has been busted, has been caught, has been called out, and they need a scapegoat. And they're like, this is my fall guy, you know, and he's now paid for that, or something's happened and they're throwing this guy under the bus. Because that is Africa in a nutshell. I mean, that is how it works. You rise to the top and you topple. Like it, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing was a racket. I'm not defending the guy. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What you're saying is just like it's hard to tell the difference between what's real and what's not because it's in a very corrupt place.
And so much money. Like I said, this is like $1 billion enterprise there. So it you really can't take anything on face value. We'll never know the truth. We really never will.